This is a book reviewing some interesting ideas, some notes I wrote in this book, Deep Medicine. I'll start with a quick review. I'll give this book 3 stars. That sounds really good, and I heard the author on a few podcasts. That's how I got introduced to this book. So he talks about AI and medicine as that has a very promising future. However, as much as there is some interesting ideas about how medicine could be enhanced and improved with healthcare and with AI, I felt that this book is more, he gives like too much background about the current state of AI and computers, artificial intelligence, and similar ideas. So I would say too much information. Mostly, for me, maybe I know more than the average person about those subjects, but I felt like there's too much information and too less ideas. She was just going through a bunch of information that I can just search myself, and it's not necessarily needed for the book. So it definitely could be shorter and not as important to talk about those subjects. So there is too much information that is not directly related in some way. But the writing style is pretty good, and with the main premise, I definitely agree, and I wish his ideas would actually see the light, will actually transform. Let's see the notes. We understand ourselves from the past, but we live forward. So the only way we understand ourselves is looking back, but we actually live forward, and then we need to know what to do. The Bayesian analysis offers a model based on probability. It's just like always Bayesian. So Bayesian is probability. It's just like to put that in place. Medicine is lagging back on technology innovation. So many other disciplines and areas are much better at transforming and getting the new technology, but medicine is actually quite old. They use paper or they use very old technology. What's missing in healthcare is caring for the patient. So what's happening many times, the doctors goes and sit in front of the computer and barely actually see the patient. They don't really engage with the patient. They don't look if something hurts. They don't look on what hurts. And there is the caring that is missing. We need to build individual diet, as different people have different reaction for food. There's a mistake there. But different people have different reactions. And I think I have another note about this subject because it's important. We say low fat or low carbs is good, but the data shows that different people react differently to different foods, so different diet should be good for different people. CAT scans are widely overused when it's unnecessary, and it's actually detrimental for the patient in some way, but they use it way too much. The availability bias affects doctors as well, since they don't remember most of diagnosis. The availability bias is what you remember, you're more likely to remember or say. So the same happened to doctors because there is thousands of diagnoses, but they only remember a few of them. So the patient comes with a problem, they're more likely to just diagnose it as something that they already know. One man said, "There is nothing artificial about artificial intelligence. Humans made it. So it's artificial intelligence. It's not because human made it. It's our intelligence in some way." Side note, the book is very current and talks about current development. However, it's probably not going to be very good in the future. So just like a side note, in a few years, this book would be outdated in some way, because why would you listen to something that happened 5 years ago? And it's not about history. It tells you what needs to be done. So it's a very current book. It's not a book that you will refer back to and you can read 10, 20 years later. We should stop teach radiologists, since AI would get much better than humans. Teach. I should have fixed that. So we should stop teach radiologists, because this is the main area where AI is much, much better than humans, and they will be replaced. So we should stop teach them or train new radiologists. Transcribing the doctor visit into an audio format, which later on would be transcribed into words, help a lot to those patients and to the doctor. So having like in some kind of an audio recording of the session, which can be later on transformed into words, could be help both doctors and the patient, because that's how we can have the data. Side note: the book is a little bit too technical, and it feels like it has been written for people from the field. So there's a lot of little details about diagnosis and all kinds of diseases that for the normal person is not necessarily important. So that in some ways it feels like it's talking to doctors mainly. Only in some parts, not the rest of the parts. Some parts it's like, what the hell is he talking about? So maybe that's what he tried to do. Could be. People prefer to tell their secrets to a bot over a doctor, which is a good thing, because if we have a bot, they're more likely to tell what's wrong versus a human, so there is less humility. Almost 1 out of 8 Americans work in healthcare industry. So that's a lot. It was a staggering number. Almost 1 out of 8. That's like most of, I'm not sure if it's the biggest section in the economy, but definitely many people are working in the field. It's crazy. Another problem with nutrition is that the studies are highly flawed, since they rely on self-reporting data, and it's really hard to actually track down what people eat. That's a problem with nutrition. The first problem is that it's self-reporting, so people don't really they either don't really know what's the right amount, or they just forget, and other reasons. And it's really hard to actually go through everything you ate today. I tried it once, and it was terribly hard. You actually need to use calculators many times, and some of the calculations are extremely hard to calculate. Other ones you just either forget or you don't put it right. So it's highly flawed. Different people react differently to different foods. One diet that fits all people is simply not possible. So I will talk about this again. We can't fit one diet to everyone, because this is not how it works. Different people have different reactions. They have different body, different genes, and we need to understand that. So that's it for notes. And again, it could be better. I really like the idea of getting AI into medicine, but there is too much technical ideas and too much information that is not directly related, and I don't really need to go through that. You don't need to establish all of that. So it could definitely be better and shorter. That's the main idea, and that's it. Thank you.